guys, welcome to this video on Leetcode number 83, which is remove duplicates from sorted list. This is very similar to the previous video I did, which was removing duplicates, but in this problem, if 1 appears twice, we keep 1. We keep 2. If 3 appears twice, thrice, or 4 times, we only keep 1, 3. In the previous problem, if the number appears more than once, we remove every occurrence of it. So in this problem, we keep one occurrence of each number that we see. So a couple of approaches here. First is to use, we can use a hashset or a hash map to store the key value pairs of the number to node, and we only store the first time that we see the number. So if we see 1, we set the key as 1 and we put the reference to the node, and then we move on to 2. If we move on to 1, we see that it's already on the map, so we ignore it. We move on to 2, we put it in the map. We move to 3, put it in the map, and then we see 3 again, so we ignore it. And then at the end, we just reconstruct a list from the keys in the map. But that would take up on space, and it's not very efficient. So, it's still on time, but it takes up extra space and can make your code unnecessarily complicated. So we'll explore a similar approach to what we did in the previous video. However, since we need to keep the one occurrence of the node, we'll slightly modify it. So what we're gonna do is, you have your head, which is, let's say 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, right? And then once we are on 1, we're going to recurse with the next number that's not 1. You see what I'm saying? So if it's 1, we'll take 1, but then we'll recurse with the next number that's not 1, so with 2. And then when we're at 2, we'll find the next number that's not 2, so we'll find 3. And then when we're at 3, we'll find the next number that's not 3, which is null, and we just set it at null and return. So we'll have the same base cases where if head is null or head.next is null, we just return head. So meaning if there's nothing in the list, or if there's only one thing in the list, there's no way that you have duplicates. So then we just return head, right? Now we're gonna set head.next to delete duplicates on the first node whose value is not the same as head. So basically I'll just call this next unique node. So, or next distinct node maybe. So then now we have to, and then we return head, right? So we have to get the next distinct node. So what we're doing is we're setting head.next to delete duplicates on the next distinct node, and then returning head. So if we see 1, we're gonna set head.next to delete duplicates on 2, because that's the next distinct node. And then when we're on 2, we'll set head.next to delete duplicates on the next distinct node, which would be 3. And then we'd be setting head.next to the next distinct node, which would be null, right? So now we just have to calculate next distinct node. So we'll start by saying next distinct node is equal to head.next. So we'll start it off with head.next. We already know that head.next cannot be null since it's here. So we're gonna say while next distinct node is not null, and next distinct node dot val is equal to head dot val. You're just going to move next distinct node is equal to next distinct node dot next. So then, yeah, so the next distinct node here would be 2, the next distinct node on 2 would be 3, and the next distinct node on 3 would be simply null. And then we set head dot next to delete duplicates on that node. So if it's null, it will just return null and set head dot next to null. Otherwise, it will set head dot next to the actual next distinct node. So let's try this solution out and see how it does. Oops, I already see that I have a compiler here. Yeah. Okay, looks like it worked. Let's try to submit it. Yep, works. Fastest time, fastest pace. Thank you for watching, and look forward to my other Leetcode videos.